Hello, my name is Andrea, your narrator for a short trip through some of Tucson's most interesting cross-cultural history. Let's explore together how the Chinese and Mexican cultures of the old Pueblo influence each other. By the 1870s, the little Mexican town of Tucson had only been part of the United States territory for about 20 years. The 1870s saw the first recorded history of Chinese people in Tucson, a few Chinese men running a restaurant. By 1880, Tucson had 7,000 inhabiting its dirt streets. Among them were about 123 Chinese, almost all men. They did whatever jobs they could find, including houseboy, cook, or launder. But some Chinese men had begun leasing land on the banks of the Santa Cruz River from major landlords, including Leopoldo Carrillo, and growing crops to sell in town. They would load produce into wagons early in the morning, pack it under wet cloth, and go from door to door selling items that might include thirsty crops such as lettuce and strawberries. They began to build relationships out in the community. Chan Tin Wo was a prosperous merchant who began operating in 1881 in Tucson. By 1890, there were 40 Chinese in Tucson who called themselves the Merchants. The Chinese Exclusion Act, the first passed in 1882, defined a merchant to include grocers. This allowed a grocer to become and go legally between the U.S. and China. To survive and attract customers, these Chinese merchants, including grocers, had to build relationships with mostly Mexican neighbors. They often leased land from Mexican landlords. They learned to speak Spanish. They sold food that was locally appealing, and they began to give credit for purchases that would be paid off later. Some of the Chinese arrived with the railroad, but others arrived from Mexico. One of these was Wang Yang, whose family believes he arrived from Mexico after the San Francisco earthquake and fire, claiming his immigration records had been destroyed in that disaster. Others include the descendants of Li Kuang and Lai Nan, whose family worked their way up from the Hermosillo area. Don Juan arrived in 1899 and returned to China in 1908 to bring back his bride, Phuoc Oc. One of their daughters, Esther Don Tang, became a community leader. Esther Don Tang herself became one of the Doñas de los Descendientes de Presidio de Tucson in recognition of her community service. By 1950s, over 100 Chinese grocery stores were operating in Tucson. Many of them made and sold that Tucson delicacy, Chinese chorizo, Mexican chorizo made by Chinese grocers. After the 1950s, the number of Chinese groceries began to decline rapidly as supermarkets opened. People bought modern refrigerators and did not need to shop every day. Cars provide mobility, and the children of the grocers went to college and entered the profession. But were they really gone? Chinese families were still making menudo and tamales in their home. Chorizo recipes stayed in the memories of those who made them, and we were occasionally made for public events. And most recently, a whole Chinese chorizo festival is celebrated every fall in the old Pueblo. At the Tucson Chinese Cultural Center, which opened in 2005, a vibrant group of youth keeps the cross-culture alive. The two cultures still blend in Tucson today. Just one example is the recent quinceañera of Mei-Ling Wang, whose family is half Mexican and half Chinese Vietnamese. This popular Latin American tradition celebrates a girl's 15th birthday, marking her transition from girl to woman. This is both a religious and social event. Some quinceañeras start with a mass for the celebrant's parents, godparents, and other immediate family. Others get right to the party, often a large and elaborate affair with a rental hall, multiple costume changes, dinner, and a multi-layer cake and a live band or DJ. The highlight of many quinceañeras is a symbolic ceremony in which the girl presents her last doll to a young sister or relative to indicate that she is finished with her childhood and trades her flat shoes for high heels to show she is ready for womanhood. Next comes a choreographed dance the honoree performs with her court of damas and champions, her closest male and female friends and relatives. Mei-Ling's multicultural court features members of her Mexican mariachi band and members of her Chinese line dance troupe. The 20 teens have practiced for months at a local dance studio to learn the routines, and tonight they wear matching outfits selected and ordered by Mei Ling. They wear red, the color of good fortune in the Chinese culture, as they dance the cumbia, a vibrant double-beat Latin gender. Mei Ling started learning mariachi when she was just 5, learning violin and then guitar, and finally the vihuela. She still practices twice a week and performs almost weekly with the Mariachi Estrella Juvenil. She joined the Tucson Chinese Cultural Center Lion Dance Troupe when she was 9, and now coaches the troupe's beginning team and teaches lion dance each Sunday at Tucson Chinese School. Life for Mei Ling is Mexican and Chinese and American. Through her and so many others like her, Tucson's rich multicultural tradition continues to thrive.
It's really important because the quinceañera is like a part of who I am, and just to be able to incorporate my own unique Asian self into it means a lot, especially having it here at the center. It truly shows that the center is my second home.
Porque que mi nieta sea la más feliz de las quinceañeras en todo el mundo.
So as a parent, I want my daughter to understand and know that, since birth, she's brought in families together and a community together.
I guess what I hope is that she continues down her journey of self-discovery, whether it's doing more of her Asian side or doing more of her Mexican side. But I think right now she's even in the way that she presents herself.
I just want her to enjoy it, have fun, know that even though this is the next step, to just continue being a little girl and enjoy the little things in life.